Did I ever tell you the time where I was getting ready to move, to box my life up into Walmart bins, cardboard boxes, suitcases, and I was moving? This is about 10, 12 years ago, where I'm getting ready to move. And it was a means of escape. It was a means to get away from my life as it was. And I was not in a position mentally, physically, emotionally. I was not in a sound relationship. I was not in a healthy work environment. Nothing was working out in my favor. So my thought process was by moving, I'm going to escape everything. I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to have a new foundation and things are just going to magically work out at the other end. But I was also in the heat of my addiction at the time. I was surrounding myself with people, places, and things that were not helpful to me or my greater good or anything else. So when I moved, I boxed up my belongings, but I also brought along all of my emotions, my rage, my anxiety, my frustration, my resentment. All of that came with me. So when I showed up on the other end, I was just me all over again. I was just me before I moved, and I was still me after I moved. So it was no surprise that the moving was a success, but it was also a failure because nothing changed. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So I found myself surrounded by the same kind of people in similar situations in very similar environments because the person that moved hadn't done any work to develop themselves or to grow or to do any hard work in self development. I was not sober. I was not willing to become sober. And it took a lot of hard lessons before I was open, willing, and ready to make those changes. And it's no fault other than my own. And when I was getting ready to move back then, I had this deep feeling in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, where what if things don't work out? And what if it is my fault? It ended up being my fault, but I didn't want to believe it. And I was filled with anxiety. I was filled with anger that hadn't even happened yet. I was filled with frustration before anything happened yet. I was aware of the steps I would have to do, but I wasn't willing to put in any work. I was more willing to box myself up and move more than actually put in the hard work to develop and grow. And that's how crazy the alcoholic mind is, or the addict brain. And so I was boxing myself up with cardboard boxes and Walmart Tupperware bins. And I was more afraid of what was going to happen at the other end. And I was more afraid that it was going to be my fault. And I knew that as I was getting ready to move. And when things didn't work out, I came to start to realize, and it set in motion a series of events that led me to the recovery path that I'm on now. And I'm aware of the hard work I had to do. And I did put in a lot of work to get to where I am today. And here I am, 10, 12 years, and I'm sober. I'm clean and sober, no alcohol, no drugs. And I'm at a point now where I'm getting ready to move. I'm boxing myself up and I'm putting things into Tupperware bins. And I'm going and I recognize the last time I had this feeling of moving was this time in my life when I was afraid of the outcome and I was afraid of what was going to happen at the other end. And I was afraid that these were the result of my choices and my feelings and my anger, resentment, and my rage. And I was more afraid that back then of what could happen rather than putting in the work to change about that outcome. And I see now today as I'm getting ready to move, I'm putting things in the boxes and the same Tupperware bins and the same cardboard boxes. I'm at a point now where I'm not the same person anymore. I'm not afraid of the outcome. I'm aware of where I am now and I'm aware of where I need to be. And I'm aware of the hard work I'm going to have to do to put in to get there. It's a part of the journey now. Part of the hard work is the journey, and part of the journey is the hard work. I don't avoid my responsibility. I don't hide away from hard work. I'm aware of who I was in the past, and I recognize the difficulties that that brought for my family, for my friends. But I'm also aware of the solid foundation that I've built my life today, and I'm aware of where I need to be. And I know that it might involve moving. I'm aware of the situation I found myself in where I have a different life now. I have different people, places, and things around me. I have a supportive sober community. I have a wonderful relationships with my family members and my friends. I'm getting ready to move today. It's not for the same reasons, but I'm also not the same person. It's the same Tupperware bands and the same cardboard boxes, but it's for a different motive. and it's coming from a different foundation. And even though moving sucks, no matter what kind of moving it is, I recognize that, you know, maybe moving isn't so bad if it's for the right reasons, for the right outcome, if I'm willing to put in the work, and if I recognize who I am with where I've been and where I need to be. It's all a part of the plan. And hard work and moving happens to be part of that plan.